American Airlines reps only allow stroller for white customers. That's the allegation. Here it is.
So this morning at 5 a.m., two exhausted parents traveling with two sleeping babies, we've flown countless times. We were told by American Airlines staff that our stroller, the same stroller we've gate checked without issue on Southwest and United, had to be dropped off at baggage. No empathy, no compromise, just refusal. But what broke us wasn't just the grueling walk through TSA with heavy children in our arms. It was watching as white families in the same line were allowed to keep their strollers. Same setup, same flight process, different treatment. We were told our stroller was different. The only difference is the color of our skin. We pleaded, we explained, we even showed prior gate check tags. But these three white women at the counter didn't flinch. They looked us in the eye as our baby slept soundly, and still they said no. To every parent of color, to every mother, to every father, this is a warning. American Airlines didn't just inconvenience us, they humiliated us. They reminded us that in their eyes, our struggle, our fatigue, our humanity didn't matter.
Put it up full mask. It is so unfortunate. It is so damn unfortunate that a black mother has to go through something like this. But my goodness, was she not prepared to provide a narrative? According to Atlanta Black Star, American Airlines is under fire for allegedly discriminating again after black parents were not allowed to check a stroller at the gate, while white parents on the same flight were allowed to do so. But this wasn't just any stroller. It was a mobility aid for the couple's 4-year-old daughter who was in need of such aid due to a disability that prevented her from walking unassisted in the public. She has been plagued with panic attacks since the incident. So that's illegal, obviously, to deny someone their capacity to be mobile. The mother claimed that there were 3 white American airline employees who scoffed at her predicament and refused to even read the medical paperwork. You don't have to produce it by law, madam. They can't make you produce it by law. Who's training these people? All right. So instead, the mother said they instructed her to check the stroller in as baggage, asking, quote, "Can't you carry your own child?" What? Yeah. Can't you carry your own child? End quote. Atlanta Black Star reached out to American Airlines for comment, but nothing by press time. The incident happened on July 12th. And the mother's video details in significant sequence. She did a remarkable job giving us the details to the story, including a close-up of previous gate check tags on the stroller in question. Her follow-up video on July 18th highlighted the Air Carrier Access Act. That's a federal law that protects people with disabilities while they travel. Quote, "The law is on our side," she stated. Indeed, strollers can be considered protected mobility devices for children with disabilities, and they must be allowed as carry-ons at no extra cost. That is the law. Airlines must allow assistive devices as carry-ons in the cabin free of charge, consistent with safety rules, reads the Airline Passengers with Disabilities Bill of Rights from the U.S. Department of Transportation, which also states that assistive devices must not be counted against the passenger's carry-on limit. And who advocated for those laws? The same individuals who utilized them. They worked, lobbied. They did not have powerful, rich Fortune 500 companies supporting them. They did it the old-fashioned way. They had to fight for it, unfortunately. But they won. They never should have had to fight. And now they have to fight again. Here's why. One, you have basically untrained, maybe, or just inhumane individuals working there. Two, who's going to enforce the federal law? That's the part. Who's going to enforce this? You have a significant lack of manpower for that same authority to even look at a case like this from the federal government. All right, there's more. So over the past 2 years, we've seen a whole lot of this. We've covered it, multiple incidents involving Black passengers and American Airlines in particular. Now, I told you, American Airlines, that if it continued to happen, we'll talk about a pattern. Now you have a pattern. From rapper Juvenile being downgraded from his first class seat without his permission, to a woman being kicked off a flight because a white passenger felt threatened, but there was no threat. And then we had a retired judge on the show. She was falsely accused of assault. They called the police on her. Police comes to arrest her when they land and says there's no crime here. To 3 Black men being kicked off a flight due to alleged body odor. There's more. To a Black man falsely accused of trafficking his own wife by airline staff. I got more. To airline staff losing a passenger's $27,000 prosthetic leg and only offered him $600 for his trouble. And finally, a Black flight attendant fired after defending himself from a passenger who attacked him. And we played the video. It was easy. Once again, he was fired. So let's go ahead and put him up for a mask. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you American Airlines CEO, Robert Isom. Hello, Robert. We are going to get well acquainted this year, sir. All right. David, thoughts here?
I don't know whether American Airlines is a racist airlines or not, but they certainly do have racist employees, and they have a pattern of enabling those employees and doing nothing. So at this point, American Airlines has to choose. Either you're going to choose to allow the hatred and the bigotry to infect your airline, and you're going to lose a lot of consumers, a lot of flyers in the process, or you're going to take a stand for basic decency and humanity and say, this will not be tolerated on American Airlines. We're going to put a stop to this. We obviously must know who those people were working in Atlanta who denied the woman with the stroller. You know who these employees are. This has been brought to your attention. Do something about it. No more excuses. No more, oh, we're not going to respond. Either you respond and you prove that you're not a racist company, or you ignore it and all of us come to a very clear conclusion. But American, you have to choose.
That's right. Well said. And here's the reality of that. We know a minority of individuals will exhibit this kind of behavior. You talked about it earlier. That's everywhere. That's societal construct. That's within a company. But if the company decides to not do anything about the 1% to 2% of individuals doing the most, well, they have also told you what their culture is. And that becomes the judgment or the conclusion that takes place. Police officers try to nuance this argument a lot. Well, most police officers are good. How? If most cops are good, that means the culture would be good, which also means the individuals who are corrupt, that's the last place they would be able to work.